Alright, hello once again, this is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College going over the Bootstrap 4 tutorial that's out on Quackit.com, and I'm in the fourth lesson. So I did the what is Bootstrap, getting started, containers and grid system in the first video, topography, tables, forms and custom forms in the second, buttons, images, drop-down controls, and button groups in the third. So in this one we'll look at input groups, collapse, navs, and nav bars. Alright. We've kind of looked at this stuff already pretty much with these, again, this is a group, and notice also we've made it basically the whole width. Okay. So if I wanted to say $133, you can see what it looks like. Use either input group small or input group large to specify the size of elements. No need to specify these on each element group. So you can see the differences between those. And again, remember, that's one of the advantages of Bootstrap is I could have this, for example, I could have this on a laptop or desktop, this on a tablet, and this on a mobile phone. You can place checkboxes and radio buttons instead of text. Okay. You can also add buttons to the form control instead of text. We've all seen things like this. You can add drop-down menus to the input group, or split drop-downs. Alright, not very much in that particular example, or maybe I just didn't give you very much, I don't know. So let's jump down to the next one and look at collapse. Collapse is kind of a neat one. Alright, because what it does is it allows you to add and remove things. It's kind of like a toggle. Alright. But in this case, you're only providing the information if the user is going to request it. So you could make any content collapsible by adding a data toggle equal collapse to a button or to a hyperlink. And that example again was with a hyperlink. And here's a similar example but with a button. Again, class equal collapse. Data toggle equal collapse. Accordions are popular. One of the things I like about the built-in accordion for Bootstrap, unlike what you get typically, for example, for jQuery, is look at the accordion here, and notice I can click one and I can make it go away right away. See that? So I can click it again and make it go away. And it actually is showing, I just didn't. There you go. So, collapsible content is often used to make an accordion, and as it mentions there, accordions are very popular for things like FAQs, frequently asked questions. You can use Bootstrap cards, which we'll go over, I believe, in a later lecture, to style the accordion similar to what's shown below. You add the show class to the collapsible content to have it expanded when the page loads. Also, as it says, use the ARIA expanded equal true in this case. Let's take a quick look at navs. Remember what a nav is. It's a nav bar, a navigation bar. And when you create those, you can have tabs, you can have pills, etc. And you'll see some examples. A regular tab, I should say a regular nav, is going to look like this. Let's grab this nav and put it in there. So we'll keep what we were working on in here before is we had these buttons. Let's leave the buttons in there. But right at the top, alright, let's go ahead and add the nav in here. Now we could have taken that and put it into a header, etc. if we wanted to. I didn't do that. Let's just take a look at what we've got. There it is, right up there. Now, sometimes when you look at that, I believe if I come back into here again and I change this from UL class equal nav, and I think I don't know if it's nav inverse or inverse nav. I think it's nav inverse. Let's see. That wasn't right. So let's let the system find it for me. Well, that was a vertical nav, which is what I gave you. They tell you to do with a flex column. I did it because I screwed up. When you set this up, as it says, you can add nav tabs. So why would you want to do that? Well, typically you'd want to do that because remember that most of the time, not always, but most of the time, when you're working with this stuff, when you're working on a web page, you've got limited real estate. All right? So by putting in this, all right, now it's harder to see, but you've got these tabs now. I should actually go back and where I've got the CSS file, got that, and I made it blue before. Let's comment that out. All right, so in other words, this will be white again. And let's also hit, after we put this in here, and we get done with our UL, let's put in about 3 line breaks. And it should make it easier for this to stand out then. Okay. Now these aren't going anywhere, but these could potentially each be a different page. So I could just put different content in here. There's a lot of different ways that this stuff can be used. Pills, notice you've got one of them that stands out. So if I say class nav equal pill, let's just use the example that they have here. It'll probably work out better than the one I've got. All right. So you can see with the pill, that's the one that's highlighted. Again, is that the kind of thing you're going to use a lot? It depends on the situation, the circumstance. You can have vertical pills also, okay? We've looked at disable links before, so notice preview. Notice if I put my mouse, how it changed. The cursor changes to the hand. When I put it here, since it's disabled, it gives me the disabled look. You can add a drop-down menu to a tab or to a pull. To a pill, I should say. All right. These are the tabbable panes that we talked about before. Again, when you've got a limited amount of real estate, you can use the same area. Okay. And looks like that's about it. Have we reached the end here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Did we do nav bars yet? Nope, we have not done nav bars. We did navs, but not nav bars. That's what I wanted to get into with you. So that's what I should have used before. I don't use navs very often. I use nav bars quite a bit. This is pretty much a standard type of nav bar. So let me get rid of the nav that I created and replace it with a nav bar. This is where you could add the inverse, and we're going to see that in just a moment. There's your explanation. Wrap everything inside a nav element with a navbar class and a navbar toggleable. Okay. You can have navbars with drop downs if you do want them. Active is typically what you'd put for your current page, so you know which page is up all the time. You can include form controls within a navbar. Now, typically, if you're going to do that, you're going to do it when it gets so small that it's the size of a mobile device. You're going to work with alignment. All right. This, as it says, would typically not be the word logo. It would be your company logo. By default, the stuff is going to be left aligned right next to the logo, but you can move it off to the right. You can center it if you want to, or whatever. There's the inverted. That's what I was looking for. Navbar inverse. I thought that's what we used before, but we were using it on a regular navbar, not on a regular nav, not on a navbar. So we will add this. Is navbar inverse. Oh, I screwed it up again. I'll use the line they put in the book. I think that's it. It's also with the background being inverse. Okay, that's what does it, is the combination of those two. So let me change that. Let me change this from a div to a nav. That would probably help to begin with. Yeah. Okay. And this, let's look at it now. That's what I wanted with my change colors. I lost my line breaks, but you get the idea. There you go. Primary color. So you can use primary color, you can use the warning, you can use whatever you want. You can even create your own custom colors. Okay. Fixed navbar. This is an important one. If you want it fixed to the top or to the bottom, you can do that with a navbar fixed top, for example. So notice that when we do this, see that how you can just, it's not moving. Just as you can fix it to the top, you can fix it to the bottom. So again, you'll notice that, again, it's not moving. Okay. When using fixed nav bars, you'll usually need to add padding to compensate for the height of the nav bar, otherwise it'll hide your content. So you might have to put some top or bottom padding is what they're saying. Okay, I think that's about enough here. So when we come back, we're going to look at breadcrumbs, pagination, badges, then the Jumbotron.